Hey Ratbags, it's Jade, giving you another glimpse into what's going on with the PTB. It had an update last night and here are some of the changes. Of course, the PTB, a holiday treat update, will be going live at some point next week. It won't be going live today, I very much doubt it. It's the last day of the week and generally they don't normally release these kinds of updates at the end of the week like this. Especially as we've only just had a hotfix yesterday as well. So I'm fully expecting this update to go live at some point next week. My best guess would be around the 6th or 7th. In fact, that's what I've always believed it would come out on. So that's when everyone gets this holiday update with brand new stuff, bugs, new pictures, new Christmas decorations, all the new decor, and a lot more. So what's actually changed then with this update last night? Well, people were worried about the zip R, and I did do a video telling you guys how to use it. If you don't know, the zip R will allow you to go up zip lines, and you get it by defeating the assistant manager in the Black Ant Hill. Once you've defeated him, you get the card and you'll be able to open it up in the oak tree. So I've done a short and a video on this, and even though I said in that video everyone gets it, a lot of you are still a bit confused. But basically it's not an accessory, it's an ability. Once you've grabbed the actual zip line up in the oak tree, once that door opens, that's it. Everyone that joins your world will have access to it. I did show this off also when I did this with a few of my rat bags. They were all going up the zip line with me in the live stream. So you don't have to worry about an accessory space. It's all going to be done automatically. So far, nothing else is going to be changing though. All the other accessories and trinkets, they are one-time items for one person. The devs have kind of expressed no real interest as of yet in making it either ways that you can craft them or other players can get them. Some other changes, they've made the mantis and some of the other creatures a bit more bigger and their correct size. This antlion was much smaller, it's now the right size, and the mantis was again much smaller. I kind of like the way they're cute. I wonder if there would be an option one day maybe to choose the size that we want. That could be something really cool. But probably would be a lot of work. It'd be nice to have like mini versions of these that we could put on certain tables and stuff, but it's probably asking a bit too much. There was an issue to do with some of the wall mounts not unlocking properly when you scanned them. Well, now that's been fixed. And they've basically fixed a bunch of stuff to do with the crab sandbox, where creatures were pretty much getting stuck on the outer rim. It used to be a nice cheese spot to get some of the antlions. If they were chasing you, well, hopefully that'll be fixed now. So there's a few other issues fixed there, but nothing super exciting. Just to do with arrows no longer being embedded in creatures, showing their HUD markers again, or not until they fall off. And changing game mode no longer duplicates equipment status effects. Now that one was pretty interesting. People were one-punching the mantis. If you change your difficulty while having maybe the power droplet or something on, people discovered you'd be able to literally punch the mantis in like 3 hits and kill it. Some of you guys are a bit worried about the new abilities of spicy weapons and salty weapons, because there's a glitch at the moment where you can get pupa and you can make the pupa directly into dried leather. So at the moment when you slice berries or pupa with a salty weapon, it gives you immediately dried goods. Now from what I can tell from what the developers have been saying, that is an unintended change. So that probably won't be there by the time you receive the update. It's only meant to work for creatures to cook for food, so things like aphids, weevils, grubs, etc. Apparently the trinkets won't work either. If you've got any kind of spicy or salty trinket, that shouldn't give you that option to cook creatures. It's only if you've gone and augmented any random weapon with spicy or salty that you'll get that ability. I love the change. I saw some people kind of being grumpy about it. I'm like, why? It means you can have food on the go pretty much any time you want. No longer having to run all the way back just to get a more of a buff from cooking. Encourages people to also choose the spicy or the salty route a little bit more, because I feel like that's what's happened here. A lot of people now are just going down the mighty path because some of the best weapons in the game require mighty globs and mighty, twinklings. Yes, I forgot the name of them. It's been a long day. Looks like they've also added a few other variants of creatures and all the game art has now been updated. If you load into your world and you're wondering where the infected wolf spider is, just like in game, you have to actually block the haze first before you can get access to that stuffed creature. So if it's not appearing, that's why. And I know this probably won't happen because we don't get any kind of parts from them. But it would be nice, maybe if it's something in an event item we can buy, to have stuffed robots. I would love to have a few Taze Ts or Ruz Ts guarding my base on little monuments or plinths. Also, of course, I did show you guys this. I think everyone has done it now. But as soon as you load up, or even now, go and get as much gum as you possibly can. I'm presuming you've got lots of acorn shells and red ant parts, but it's maybe gum that you won't have loads of. Why? Because these holiday treats give a treat every single day. They stack up to 4 times before it won't stop spawning, so you have to pick up what's on the floor. So the more you have of these, the more candies and coal pieces you're going to be getting, as it spawns random drops of them every day. And don't panic about wasting resources and stuff. Of course, when you dismantle it with the brand new update, you're going to get everything back. That's the big part of this update, is now that whenever you destroy something, you will get 100% of the resources back. If you're wondering how to access the bars, sadly, unlike PC where you should be able to just use the scroll bar, you've got to press LB and then LT or RT, and you'll be able to scroll through your presets. If you don't know what this is, it means you can quickly go from one set to another. So, for example, if I go ahead and switch my hot pouch, I can put maybe my harvesting gear here instead, even including my aphid boots or armor sets. And so when I'm going ahead and harvesting, gathering resources, if some spider or something creeps up on me, then all I've got to do is press LB and RT to cycle through to my battle gear instead. It's a great little move. It means you can have proper sets of gear now. Of course, it does all still take up space in your inventory, but with that extra row now, it's definitely going to help things. I've already started a Let's Play. It's coming out tomorrow. A brand new fresh One Life hardcore challenge. And the difference is huge. No longer having to run back every 2 minutes to dump stuff off. I've gathered and collected so much more, and it's made base building and other stuff a lot easier. So do make sure you take advantage of this. Change your presets, get an empty one, and make sure you fill it with stuff. Have a ranged build to go, have your gathering build, and have a melee build. The splinter traps weren't necessarily unlocking for people, but you do have to go and get cement. Spoilers, because this is pretty late game, and apparently a lot of you guys haven't actually got to it. You do have to go and investigate the stump lab to get access to cement. So if you want these brand new traps, then that's what you've got to do. As you can see, I'm hitting a small spike strip. It's probably taken about 13 hits to demolish. The splinter trap has probably about double the health of the regular strips. So you definitely won't need to lace everywhere with these anymore. It's better off definitely late game getting some of these. It does look like they've patched also the ability to go and get sap from some of the fridges and wooden items. You've probably seen a ton of Reddit posts talking about this, and in Discord. Everyone and their mum was doing this since it used to work on the turrets as well. But yeah, it does look like that has now been nerfed or fixed. And yes, I tried it on this as well. And of course, it didn't work in the first place. So don't dismantle anything yet. Wait until the update drops and get 100% of your resources back before you disable all your glitchy sap collectors. Few FYIs as well, the new Christmas stuff doesn't affect any of your final game score. So if you're worried about having to spend, because that's what you need to get 100% perfect, is buy everything in the store, well, you don't have to worry. The event stuff doesn't actually count for it. It's been confirmed now as well that mutations, which were meant to have, I think, happened in the last patch, don't count towards the final review score anymore. Basically, Revive a Friend, which was the only one that you could get multiplayer, was stopping people getting 100% review score. So they changed it. I do believe you can afford to have one missing, or you might not even need any of them. I'm going to wait until the final patch notes to go further with this, but that's what it's looking like at the moment, that actually you won't need mutations at all to get 100% score. There's so many quality of life improvements, and I've got videos coming on it, but I wanted to spend a bit more time with the building and actually show you some really cool ideas that you can now do. But effectively, everything's extended. You should be able to go ahead and dump stuff in your resources box from much further away now. You can see that's the kind of range we've got. That's a big increase, as it used to be about here. So it's like nearly double what it used to be. And things like being able to build from pallets. Just rack up and stack up some of these now with all of your stems. And you should technically be able to go ahead and build whatever you want with your resources as long as you're close enough. It should directly pull the resources from these. But yes, I'll be back. Once this update goes live, of course, I'll be the first person to drop that info to you. And I'll have a full recap of absolutely everything you need to know. So if you missed all the new stuff, you missed my live stream where I went over a lot of it, I've got your back, don't worry. Last thing I wanted to touch on was after my Grounded DLC video where I showed you guys that the devs apparently were working at one point on an arena. It was going to be something where you fought lots of different bosses using brand new armors and weapons, but it looks like it got cancelled. What would you guys want? Eric, the community manager, mentioned that they're discussing possibly having cosmetic items in the future. But clearly from my poll, that's something you guys don't want. Now, admittedly, I could be taken that I worded this in slew of basically being negative against them. Generally, games don't always just do cosmetics. They'll obviously do free updates alongside it. But yeah, I still hold that this is worthwhile. 9,000 of you guys voted at least. And when you rack up the amount of people that want DLC, whether it's completely on its own or alongside big updates, we're talking about 67%. Add the other 4% and we're talking about 71% of this player vote at least, which doesn't mean it's the whole Grounded community. That would be stupid. But certainly you guys that watch me, yeah, you are feeling like you would like to explore different avenues in Grounded with chunky updates. We just don't know what they're going to be doing in terms of content going forward. Whether or not it's going to be big patches, but given they've now spoken for the first time, as far as I can find, anything to do with cosmetics or DLC, I think it's safe to assume that cosmetics will probably come alongside big updates. Just like this one with the holiday update, adding this free tree, I think stuff like that in the future might be paid, but there will be big chunky content. But so many of you had some great ideas about potential DLC. We all just want this game to go on longer. The devs do too, they've mentioned it a bunch of times. They've got the cartoon TV show coming out. It's one of the biggest played games on Games Pass in the last few years. It'd be stupid to assume that this game isn't going to receive content in the future. So I might go over these in a while, do a video talking about some of your ideas and add into it a little bit how it could work. So if you've got an idea about a DLC or a free update, then absolutely pop it in the comment section on this poll. Grounded is well worth the value in money for the game it is now. It's provided tons of content over the last 2 years. And anything they did do, even if they were to do it early access, I'd be totally down to support. They're a good company and a good game. And that's it. Like I said, I've got my Let's Play starting this weekend. I'll be back next week, obviously, once the update goes live. And we've got lots and lots to cover, I'm sure, with maybe more additions incoming. Until next time, Ratbags, laters.